Hey, ladies and gents, it's Zam again, and I'm actually doing a quick review here on the BF-110 C-6. I'm going to do the iconic plane on the BF-110, but this is, of course, the premium Tier 4 BF-110. So you're going to have to wait for the complete history on all of it. What you need to know, I guess they don't need to know this, but this was actually one of 10 built, I believe, in 1940 in a tier, and it was an experimental aircraft in the sense that it mounted an extra 30 millimeter cannon underneath in a pod. That's the big difference between this and a BF-110 B, I believe. So yeah, that's the difference. So the C6 gets like you said earlier, the four 7.92s, but it also gets that huge 30 millimeter under the in a gun pod underneath the fuselage. A very long range 30 millimeter. We're talking over 3,000 feet. So once again, Imperially challenged. That's almost 1,000 meters. Yeah, very long range and hits pretty hard. I've one-shotted tier 3s and tier 4s with this. It's light fighters and stuff. It's very possible to do that. So yeah, it's a ridiculously long-ranged cannon, almost like a sniper cannon. If you can get this thing to hit, it will wreck like you wouldn't believe. Good. Actually going to pull up the game in it. It was a 10,320 combat points, 112,000 credits. Not too bad, not too shabby. If you're going to get into the whole boom and zoom type stuff, this is not a bad aircraft to do it in, to at least learn that part of it, especially if you're going to go up into the other German heavy fighters and whatnot. Makes decent cash. Once you get this play style down, the BF-110s are relatively, the B and the E, pretty close to the fact that they don't have the massive 30 millimeter underneath. Yeah, so real fun plane to play. I got my pilot set up as a Raptor Strike. I like the 50% increase when you tip over at 45 degrees. That's really nice, especially if you're coming up against an aircraft that's coming directly towards you. Works it out. And in my rear gunner, I have the Vigilance. I'm probably going to take that off. We'll see here. And then, of course, the armor. I'm trying to get to the extra firing range on the turret by 15% and that kind of stuff, which adds on to my equipment with the improved reflector sight. The 30 millimeter is not easy to hit with. You can hit with it. You'll get a surprising boom. You'll take off a bunch of damage, but it helps to try to get a little bit better accuracy with that, or a little better dispersion with that big boomstick. Reinforced airframe, and then turret stabilization, which added 15% to my effective range of my turrets on the rear, which is just one, I do believe. 7.92 on the rear. And you do pick up some rear gunner kills, so it's not too bad. So I'll be bringing up that game for you guys to check this plane out. It does well against bombers. This thing just eats bombers left and right. And it's a little bit kind of doggy compared to some of the other heavy fighters at this P-38s and that are the Lightnings and stuff like that, or even the bow fighters. Kind of a tough time getting around on those kind of planes. So you guys will, of course, see in the game what I'm talking about. Alright guys, back with the replay on this plane, and we are flying. It's actually a pretty simple map, I guess. We got the airfield in the middle, and of course the two garrisons on the outside edge. So get up around, I usually take off, try to get up to around, boost up to about 6,000 feet to see what we're going to run into. I see the enemy team actually has a BF-110B on the opposing side, and of course I believe there was another C-6, so I was a little surprised all of a sudden, and you'll see what I'm talking about. One of those you zone out on a target a little too long. It's one of those kind of mistakes, right? So get up to altitude here. I'm looking down here, AO-192s. I'm kind of just loitering up here. I'm not going to drop down on those white fighters just yet. I'm looking for some red guys. I'm going to see if there's actually anything up here to finish off. So just flying around, seeing if I can find anything that's up around my altitude, 5,500 feet, find one right here, and get a little bit into him, and pass on through. Flip up, and yep, buffer zone. We'll see if we'll flip over here and see what we can do. Maybe I can get a little bigger chunk out of him this time. He's flying away. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to get that 30 to hit, but once you do, it's excellent. Does a real nice job of taking off some hit points. So drop in here, put some nice shells on this guy. I ain't got nothing on my tail, so I'm not too terribly worried about it until about then. Finish him off, boost up, back up out of there, flip up and over, looking for my next target, which happens to be the I-17 that's flying right in front of me. Thank you, buddy. Finish him off, and once again start boosting up, get a little bit more altitude here and see what we can find. This kind of becomes a real shit show right here in the middle with all this guys. Flip over here, see if I can get a couple rounds into him, but I can't. Yeah, like I said, the 30 is hard to hit. Once you get up, it's a lot easier to get them when they're not, they're giving you kind of a side angle to them, as they're turning. It's a lot easier to hit. Otherwise, a straightaway is even kind of a pain in the butt to hit with. So BF 110 here, see if I can get a shell into him. Can't do it. Pick back up again, and I got Thorson coming around on me. There you are, buddy. But once you do get that 30, you'll see the big numbers come off this guy when that does hit. I mean, it's just boom, a massive amount of numbers here. Pulling on him, finally flip the cap, pull up, waiting around here to see what I can see. That's of course when I see the bomber incoming to my rear. We're going to pull over here and we're going to see what we can do with him. Get my boost back up a little higher, finally flip the other garrison. Yeah, and I'm just going to sit, literally play air dominance right over top of this cap and see what we can do. DO-17Z coming across in front of me. Yeah, come on, baby. Give me a big one. Oh, there we go. Now you can see the 30 starting to hit. If I kind of feather it out, just kind of let it come in like that, it's pretty easy to... once you get, slower targets, especially the bombers, it's a lot easier to hit with the 30, or even other heavy fighters. Yeah, it's a lot easier to hit. So, flip me back down here, looking around here and see what I can find. I got an HE-112 coming up. I have no idea. And you can notice what range I'm shooting at there. There, we got a hit at 73. And I think if you, like I said, once you get the hang of that 30, picking out those big, those long range shots. I mean, we're talking over 3,000, 3,200, 3,300, 1,000 meters at least, where you can hit something. Flip over just a little too much, and puts me back out on this guy. Let's see if I can get a nice, and I put a nice little bit of damage into him, and we're going to zoom back out of here. Rear gunner's firing away here at the Bristol. Cleared my tail, nothing was behind me, so I flip over here, and we'll see what we can do here with this guy. And that's about the time I noticed, or I didn't notice, that I got a P-36 right on my tail, so go figure, not paying attention. Get zoned out on targets, and that always seems like it happens to me, or what? Yeah, what are you going to do? Oh, actually, it's the BF 110 finally showed up, the other one. So flip over here, see if I can get the KI-43. Yeah, that's what I like. Put a nice big burst of damage into him. Catch him with my wing. Still at 102 hit points. We own this cap with a repair wrench, and I've been unfortunately not able to get it to repair because part of that has to do with the distance they have to be away from me. So I get the other BF 110, get his rear, flip down here, and I'm trying to get down low enough to get the repair icon to show up. So since I'm down here, let's see if we can do some damage here to these ground attack planes. Yeah, and like I said, big 30 does well against slow targets. And don't get me wrong, you can definitely snipe off light fighters with this cannon. I was playing with mine the other night, and I picked off a Spitfire at 3,000 feet, two 30mm shells that were on his tail. Yeah, and it's possible to pull off some insanely long range shots with the 30mm. So I'm idling down here. Apparently these guys are way too close for this thing to activate. I haven't fired for 5 seconds or taken any damage. So I'm kind of like, what am I going to do? So apparently it's not going to work. I guess I'm going to have to start shooting at stuff again. We've dominated the center now here for most of the game, so it's working out pretty nice for us. Come back around here. Got me a, there we go, buddy. HE-112. Take a big chunk of his life off. Unfortunately, it cost me a little bit more damage, and yeah, that ain't gonna work. Flip around. Hopefully my tail gunner is gonna be able to knock him out, but yeah, didn't work out. So the P-43 knocks me out finally, which is okay, because like I said, we've dominated the center airport most of the game, so I'm not too worried, and which is nice because I'm gonna actually pop into battle here at altitude again, almost 4,000 feet. So it puts me in a nice position to pick off the DO-17 that's coming back around. So now here's what I was talking about with the shots, 33,000 feet. Ooh, see, 73. Yeah, there we go. Big damage. Once again, slow targets. You can get these 30s to take off some big numbers off that guy. I do believe I hit him 3 times with a 30 millimeter. So it's a very possible, almost like a little bit of a sniper roll, I guess, if you wanted to call it, with that 30. If you, like I said, once you get it figured out, it's not too bad. So got a light fighter up here at my altitude, which is kind of odd, I guess. So boost up to 7,000 feet. See if he'll follow. Yep, he's right on my tail, but he's taking a lot of punishment for it. Flip over and coming back down on him. Yeah, head to head, not good, buddy. Pick him off, and now it's pretty much cleaned up. We're so far ahead. Squall line's coming up, or actually the squall line has come up, so now it's just more a matter of picking some targets, see what I can do here. Flip over. Looking. What do we got here? HE-112, Eric. See if we can pick off a crazy shot here. Nope, can't get it. So now I switch back to my 4-7 point. Oh, just barely missed him. So yeah, 10,320 combat points, not too bad. And I enjoy the plane. Some people, if you don't like the zoom and boom, if you don't like the heavy fighter gameplay, I would not pick this up. This is kind of for the people that do enjoy heavy fighters. So yeah, decent money maker. Lots of fun if you can get. It's kind of just a riot if you can get the 30 millimeters to actually start hitting. Like I said, I've hit light fighters and literally they're just gone. Yeah, just a lot of fun. So hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I will be putting up some stuff a little bit later on tomorrow. Thanks, guys.